Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Real Talk here on TV 35. I am your host, Pat Brock. We're here at the campus of the Dublin High School Irish, and of course, the Dublin Youth Council here, they're doing something that's pretty spectacular, a forum here at Dublin High School, Our Voices Matter Too, where the Youth Council, along with the City Council members, the Mayor himself, Mr. Phil Best, the Chief of Police, Tim Chapman, you've got the city manager here, the assistant city manager, and you've got council members here. They're going to be discussing issues that really matter for our youth today. We're excited to be here, excited to take part in this. This is something pretty awesome. As you read the motto, they say, teens challenging the face of politics through leadership, service, and community involvement. So watch this as you hear from the Dublin Youth Council, speaking with the council members, sharing some questions from the heart, and the city council members have answers.
Let's try that one more time. Good afternoon, Dublin High School. All right. To our distinguished panel, on behalf of our superintendent, Dr. Fred Williams, and our Board of Education, and the staff here at Dublin High School, we welcome you to the first Youth Council Forum here at Dublin High School. We welcome you guys, and we ask that our audience that you pay attention. There's some important information that will be disseminated here today, and you guys are our future. This is important. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to our Youth Council. Y'all give them a big round of applause, and thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Donald Harrell, and I'm your mayor of the Dublin City Youth Council. It is with great pleasure that I welcome each of you to our Student Forum of the Year. We thank all of you for attending and participating with today's event. We would also like to thank our distinguished guests on today's panel who have taken time out of their day to hear what we have to say. Let's give them a round of applause. Let's all remember that we are tomorrow's leaders, and there is no greater time to start preparing than right now. Again, you're welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sydney Price, your at-large representative. Would everyone please stand for a word of prayer? Please bow your heads for a word of prayer. Dear God, thank you for bringing us all here today. Thank you for the wisdom and courage you've given us to be leaders of influence in our community. I ask that you allow this program to inform and inspire all of us here today to go out into our community and effect positive change. Amen.
Hey, my name is Davon Peacock. I am representing Ward 3 for the Dublin City Youth Council. I will be introducing the panel for today. Phil Best, Councilman Benny Jones, Councilman Gary Johnson, Councilman Jerry Davis, Chief Police Tim Chapman, City Manager Lance Jones, Assistant City Manager Tiffany Stanley.
Good afternoon. My name is Audrey Charles, and I serve as your clerk historian for the Dublin City Youth Council. The following questions are to be addressed to any council member. Please use the microphone to speak and limit your comments to 2 minutes. A Louisiana senator once stated, children may make up only about 30% of the world's population, but they represent 100% of our future. Since we are considered tomorrow's leaders, what steps have you all taken to prepare the city's youth for future leadership positions?
First steps that we did was we created the Youth Council, which is supported by the City Council. The budget comes from them, so they are learning firsthand how the city government works, and also are learning to go out and be a voice for their community and for their peers. So our City Youth Council, our Teen Court, is another program that is sponsored by the City of Dublin. It gives teens a chance that once they commit first-time offender and offender, they get a judge sentence from the teen court. If they do the provisions that teen court tell them to do, then their record is expunged, so that do not appear on their record at all. So we've had people that got speeding tickets that was up to about $1,000 fine. Just pay the $25 fee, do some community service hours, and show up at teen court. It's erased. So these are things. Also theft. We done got that erased off people's records. So we are doing a lot to invest in our youth, and we understand that our youth are vital to our future.
Thank you. Do you feel it is important for the youth to become involved in the community and what goes on around us?
Yeah, I think can you hear me? I think it's very important for the youth to get involved in programs in the community because it expands your horizon. You get familiar with many other things, and you're preparing yourself for post-high school education. And as part of the city council, I'm on the city council, but part of the Oconee High School National Alumni Association, I'm also the president. And we also have several programs that we like for the youth to participate in order for you to get more experience. And we provide an incentive award at the middle school each year where we award monetary prizes for people that have shown exemplary skills as far as their grades and the most improved. We used to have a science project that we would have the middle school students to participate in. So those things, and also we have a botillion that starts in January, and it runs all the way through June. And it teaches especially young men from making the transition from teens to adulthood. And so, and it's a number of training sessions, decisions for teens, their interaction with law enforcement, and it just provides a lot of good information to help teens make the right decision and improve themselves as they are growing up. That would be helpful in post-high school education as well as joining the workforce.
How involved are you all on the panel with the youth throughout the city, and what do you plan to do to become more involved with the youth?
One thing that I can say that the city of Dublin, we are very involved with the youth, in particular the Transformer program. It works in a lot of ways, and we really go after our young kids when it comes to mentoring, as well as with our adults. But we're speaking of our youth. We're always looking for out-the-box ways and how we can be involved with our youth. We also have an Explorer Scout program that offers a career path for our youth. We have some of our youth who want to be police officers. So this initiative actually opened the door for a career. And with that said, we partner with the Career Academy, Moore Street. We have mentoring at our middle school, etc. We're always looking for best practices, how we can be involved with our youth so they can have a voice in the direction in which they desire.
Could you please tell us about the Transformers program and the Explorers program?
Thank you. The Transformer program is a spiritual program, actually comes from the Bible, Romans 12, verse 2, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. In order for us to move forward, the first thing we have to do is change the way we think. It makes no sense to come out of Egypt with an Egypt mentality. We have to learn that where we're coming from does not dictate the end. It actually allows us to focus on where we're going. We use our negatives to turn that into positive energy. So the Transformer program is a unique program. It's not just for youth, it's also for adults. We have helped adults get jobs. We pay money, or we have a scholarship that we can actually pay for GEDs. We partner with the Labor Commissioner of the state of Georgia, Mark Butler's office, to help bridge the gap to get men and women off the streets or out of poverty into a workforce to be able to take care of their families. That is another way that we use to combat crime, because at the end of the day, if you don't have a job, you'll find a way to eat. But the issue is,
hello, I'm Deborah Stanley with the City of Dublin. Start saving today with the City of Dublin's natural gas.
Hi, I'm Aretha to help you with all your billing.
Hi, I'm Rika and I love customer service.
Hi, I'm Becky and I provide customer service at the drive-thru window.
Hi, I'm Cindy y ayudamos a todos nuestros clientes en lo que necesiten.
Call the City of Dublin Natural Gas Department today.
Piggly Wiggly would like to take this opportunity to salute our community leaders for their efforts to make a difference right here at home. For decades, Piggly Wiggly has supported community leaders dedicated to our city and county's progress in fulfilling our dreams to be united in the cause of service to one another. Shop Piggly Wiggly, where we proudly support and serve our community every day.
what can we do as a police department other than just locking you up? There has to be a better way to direct or help change the way people think as well as their habits. So the Transformer program is a very unique program that we are very proud of. In the coming days, we have a building that we're about to open up to use this building for this initiative, that we can also mentor our students in the categories of math, English, as well as reading. These things are very important. Not only are we going to mentor or tutor the students, we're also going to go after our parents, because some of our parents don't even know or understand the process of this new math that our kids are facing today. In fact, I was trying to help my baby son work a problem, and I understood how to do it the old way, but I did not know how to do it the new way. So I had to Google that to find out how do you do that properly. So if I had a problem with it, somebody else is going to have a problem with it. So that's very important. The reading side of that is, if you cannot read on a third grade level, I think it's when you get to the fifth grade, there's an 80-something% chance that you're going to prison. You cannot just talk about that. You have to look for a solution. So we are reading at the Sousa Dasher School to help change that number, because one person going to jail is too many. So we need to, all of us, and the city is, we're serious about making an impact with the Transformer program. The police cadet program, or Explorer Scout, is backed by the Boy Scouts of America. This program, once again, is used for a career path to somewhat teach or introduce a student to the law enforcement arena, what is required, the proper way to do your job, and to introduce what is called modern-day policing in this generation. To do it right with a spirit of integrity, a spirit of transparency, and professionalism, to know that there's only one way to do it, and that's the right way. Thank you.
Thank you. What steps has Dublin Police Department made to bridge the gap between the officers and the community youth for those of us who do not match the qualifications of the Transformers program and Explorers program?
Can you say it one more time?
Is it on? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay. What steps has the Dublin Police Department made to bridge the gap between the officers and the community youth for those of us who do not match the qualifications of the Transformers or Explorers program?
Easy answer. Everyone is included with the Transformer. There's nothing that will exclude anyone from being part of the Transformer program. You don't have to have a record. You don't have to come from a single-parent dwelling. You don't have to be poor. It's inclusive. It's not exclusive. It allows everybody to be a part of. We have several kids a part of Transformer that's coming from great parents, great homes, but they need the mentoring. We have, as I said, we work hard with community policing, just encouraging. So those are the two entities. With my fraternity, we also have what is called the Sigma Gent program, and it is designed to just do mentoring. So we try to cover all the bases, include everyone in this program.
Thank you. My last question. I recently attended a recent community service meeting where the increase in traffic crashes around the city was mentioned, being that the Pride driving course is no longer available through the City of Dublin Police Department. How is the police department, what are they doing to compensate for this issue?
The issue with Pride, that we are incorporating the Pride program without using that label with the Transformer program. This is a different entity that we are targeting to help the kids, to educate, even with, when it comes down to tickets and stuff like that, there has to be a better way. But so education is very important. So with the Transformer program, it's on our table now. Actually, we had a meeting about 3 weeks ago with Captain Champion to bring the Pride, to bring it over through the Transformer on the second tier with that, to introduce it to our public.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Research states that involving young children and teenagers in extracurricular activities within the community can decrease crime, increase safety rates in the community by focusing on the future leaders and citizens of the community. How can you assist with developing enough after-school community events that can help young children and teenagers out of trouble or keep them active?
We're proud to say that we've gotten Wi-Fi at the Stubbs Park Gym. They're in the process now putting some exercise equipment in Stubbs Park Gym. It's open when they're not doing rec ball. It's open daily for open play. Sundays is a good time to come for open play. Also, we're working on getting Wi-Fi at the Old Coney Gym also, and that's also open daily. So we have them. Plus, along with the Southside Community Association, we're trying to work with, we're in the process of working with the Old Coney Gym to come up with activities for the summer for the youth, such as track and field. We've actually had 4 blocks donated last year, 2 starting blocks donated to the program. So we're in the process of getting things like that, did a cooking program and other programs that are needed at the Old Coney Gym for the summer for the all ages. Last year the gym was open for activities. We just didn't have enough participation. So there's a lot to do for young people. We just have to get more involved.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jalecia and I'm the Ward 2 representative for the Dublin City Youth Council. Safety is a priority for everyone in any situation. So to improve safety in Dublin, particularly for the youth, is it possible to have an increase in the quantity of street lights for students who use school buses as transportation in the morning? This will also be a good necessity for others to look out for students as they wait for their bus. Many are needed primarily on the south side of Dublin near public and affordable housing areas.
Short answer, yes. We can put some more street lights in. What we need from y'all is, excuse me, where do they need to be? Because it's hard for us to ride around and just notice. Street lights, a single street light's not expensive, but a whole bunch of street lights are. So, but what I need from y'all is you call my office, call the City of Dublin 272-1620, or come by, let me know, hey, we need a street light at so-and-so, or this street is dark. Our folks will go by, check that out at night, try to find the best position for it, so, and we'll put one in it where it's needed. If sometimes, a lot of times, it's a street light that's out. It's a street light that is turned in the wrong direction. So sometimes we can do some things without having to put in a new one. And so that's really not costing us any money, but we can do those things. We've had a lot of them. It's just over the years, trees and bushes and limbs grow out around the light. And all we got to do is trim it. All of a sudden, a street light that was costing us money, wasn't doing anything, is there providing light now. So if you tell us, you say a spot that's dark, needs a street light, let the city know, and we'll come out and take a look at it and see if we can't get one in. Thank you.
What is being done by the City of Dublin to revitalize and rebuild urban neighborhoods?
I can answer that, but I can also tell you that there's several other council members here that are involved in this answer, and I'm just representing them. Councilman Johnson, probably 15 years ago, started a effort to rid our community of dilapidated houses. Since that time, what's the number, Lance? We have torn down and brought up to code 600 houses. Since that point, we have created the Land Bank Authority, which Councilman Davis is the chairman of. We also have enacted a blight tax, and which will penalize the people that are trying to keep the slums areas like the houses that they have. And then we've also taken the Stubbs Park area and tried to make that a model by Chief Chapman putting his transformer program down there, a bicycle cop precinct, the Land Bank Authority, and one policeman lives there. So we're using that Prince Mincy and Sawyer Street area as a model that we can pick up and use all over our town. It takes time, but we are very conscious of it. All of City Council, the staff knows we're real interested in that, and we intend to do a lot of things in the future.
Kick off this year with the confidence that Hometown Supply will be here to help you with whatever you may need. Glenn Register at Hometown Supply has been committed to helping people for decades. And with in-house financing, Glenn and his friendly staff can help you set up payments to accommodate your budget. Face it, we all need help, and it's good we can count on Hometown Supply for new and used appliances, for lawn and garden equipment, for all types of tools, plumbing supplies, paint, all types of heaters, a great selection of electronics, new and used tires, and so much more. So this year, count on your friends at Hometown Supply in downtown Dublin, just across from the skyscraper.
I attended Oconee Fall Line Technical College, and like many others, I was considered a non-traditional student.
My classes at OFTC have taught me the different aspects of a criminal mind and the way the criminal acts.
The term non-traditional career refers to jobs that have traditionally been held by one gender. That would be like males in cosmetology or females in welding.
Anyone can do it, regardless of the gender, and as long as you put your mind to it, you can succeed and achieve all your goals.
I wanted to add too, there are so many opportunities. I mean, if y'all are really concerned about your neighborhood, you want it to look better, okay? I'm assuming you do. There's a program right now called River of Life. Pine Forest Methodist Church is starting it, but they're trying to get a bunch of other churches, folks involved. The whole focus of that is you got a neighbor that needs their house painted. You got a neighbor that their porch railing or something, they need a ramp. Just to need some minor repairs, their house would be looking a lot better. You can get involved in that and get out there and help your neighbors help themselves. So there are a lot of opportunities for y'all to get involved in these things. We're doing a lot of things, but if you're really concerned about it, want to help, we got places you can help.
Anybody else?
There are many businesses that have closed and left Dublin, therefore making our city less exciting. What is the responsibility of the mayor and city council members to find new businesses when they close?
We, as a city council and the mayor, we work closely with the Dublin Lawrence Development Authority, and we had money allocated to SPLOS that was for economic development, and we agreed to give the Development Authority some money to put in the war chest so they would be able to compete with other cities and states to entice other businesses to come into Dublin and Lawrence County. And we've been very successful with it. We've had about industries from 6 different countries to come to Dublin and locate here and provide jobs. Several, one of them has relocated here, Margay Solar, but they since have gone out of business. We have Erdrich that's here and operating. We have Polymer Logistics, a recyclable container company off 257 that is hiring people. And we have Avermira Glass that's currently hiring people with good wage jobs. And so if you know of anybody that needs a job, I encourage you to go. You can apply online, or you could go to the facility on 257 and get some good wage paying jobs. We also have Denex, which is an exhaust system company. And so we've been successful in creating some it was about $475 million in investments. And so we have the jobs here. We haven't replaced them all, but that's the way that we are working with the Development Authority to provide jobs in Dublin and Lawrence County.
Do you guys have any plans to improve the downtown area with more businesses?
I know you've been through downtown several times lately, and there's a lot of construction going on. There's a lot of rehabilitation. I think the last count I had that the council was presented was there's been $53 million of public and private investment in our downtown over the last 5 years. Some of those buildings that are still being renovated are going to be offices. There's a lot of retail down there now. As far as the urban, let's see, how is it listed here? Adding urban businesses, I'm not sure I'm sorry, I'm an old man. Explain that to me. What's an urban business?
I don't know. Like, I'm assuming stores or things more relatable to us.
Okay. Yeah, we have to put the incentives there for people to try to locate there. We make it available for them, but that's really up to private enterprise what goes there. But as far as the downtown area, I know in my time on city council, and it has just transformed completely as to what it was 20 years ago. And I think you'll see that continue to grow.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Journey Guyton, and I represent the city attorney in the Dublin City Youth Council. Dublin has a growing population of diverse groups. Why aren't there more activities or community events that cater to those groups? For example, with the First Friday events.
I'm Gary Johnson, and talking about diversity, we're going to have to make an effort. The students at Dublin High, students from West Lawrence and East Lawrence. I used to work with 4-H, in which I know that I attended all the schools. We're going to have to be diverse to know how to, when you play basketball against West Lawrence and East Lawrence, that's just a ball game. You shouldn't carry it on to community activities. Our biggest problem I see that we having with young people, and it, is when we have an activity, people want to fight. And I don't understand why when you want to have a good time, people don't want to see you fighting. Go out in the woods somewhere and fight. People don't want to see that. That's what we're going to have to do if we want to. And the city of Dublin is trying to provide these activities for you all. Matter of fact, we are providing a water park. We're going to provide a water park so y'all can swim. Enjoy yourself. But one thing about it, we just got to start working together. Our youth council, if you notice our youth council, they all come from Dublin High. We are planning on trying to diversify it. We want to make sure that it represents all the city of Dublin. So help us, because you all have friends that go to West Lawrence, East Lawrence, Trinity. Invite them to participate in different activities. Think of some things you want to do at the Theater of Dublin. What movies that you all want to see. Think of some groups that you want to bring down to Dublin to play music for you all. Now, you know we can't have all this music where they have that cursing and stuff, and you know we can't have that. But we want to bring a group that you want to hear. But one thing I invite you all to do is to talk with those students from other schools and be open with them and get along with them. We're not there to compete. We're there to have a good time.
Thank you. What is the procedure for sponsoring events that cater to those groups?
The second part, number 9.
No.
Number 10?
Number 10.
The second part of number 9.
No, number
What is
10.
the procedure for sponsoring events? I'm going to turn this over to Bill Brown. Bill is our liaison for the Downtown Development Authority, and he can probably tell you who you need to see about that.
First of all, Bill Brown, City Councilman for Ward 4. I apologize for my tardiness. Had a prior engagement, and thankful to be here now. I would say that the process for that would be through our Downtown Development Authority. We certainly have our Executive Director, Tara Bradshaw. We also have Liz Coleman, who is the Director of our programming, and that would probably who you would need to contact. Traditionally, she's housed in the Fred Roberts Hotel, but also is available at Theater Dublin. That's how I would encourage you to contact her.
Thank you.
A lot of the other companies were putting business ahead of the patient. And the main thing that we wanted to be a part of was to make sure that Integrity Hospice, that we were constantly putting the patient first.
They're there for you. They're there for the patients. And they want to do what's in the best interest of everybody concerned.
We provide a lot of services for both the emotional and spiritual needs for these patients.
I strongly recommend Integrity Hospice and everything that they represent.
Choose the convenience of Neighbors Express and get friendly, courteous service every time you visit any of our convenient locations. Fill up with pay at the pump and take advantage of our bigger and better selection of beverages and tobacco products. And buy 12 packs of Pepsi products, 2 for $6.99. Enjoy the popular crushed ice with your favorite fountain drink. Also enjoy a fresh, hot breakfast. Stop by for lunch or dinner. It's always fresh, always convenient at Neighbors Express. Now located at I-16 and 441 and in Cedar Grove, providing farm fuel for all our customers. Count on the convenience of Neighbors Express.
My last question is, basketball is a popular sport for the youth in our city. We have won at least 2 state championships in the past at Dublin High School. How do we, as a youth, go by requesting improvements to the basketball courts at Stubbs Park Gym?
Let me just address that, and maybe somebody else besides me wants to address it as well. But number one, I think Councilman Jones has done a real good job working with the Recreation Authority to get some things done over at Stubbs Park in that area, and I think that could continue. When you're, let's see here, I jumped the wrong question here, but the courts are under the Recreation Authority. That is jointly owned by the city and the county. We have two council members, Gary Johnson and Gerald Smith, that are on that authority. So that is certainly a way. They're the ones at the end of the day that have to make that decision on improvements. But I think City Council as a whole has a tremendous amount of improvement that's going to be happening in that area and the expansion of Stubbs Park within the next 2 years. You want to say something else?
As the mayor said, I am a part of the Recreation Authority. If you look at Stubbs Park Gym, we have opened it up for activities for all anyone that would like to participate in it. We're opening up a weight room, and also we're going to put computers in Stubbs Park. And we're expecting to do the same thing at Oconee Gym also for young people. And the problem is we're trying to get more Wi-Fi so that you can log in different locations in the city of Dublin. I know we're having a problem on the south side, but I think that with our IT person, that will be improved in the near future. But if you're having a problem with recreation, make sure you call the Recreation Authority. You can call them at 277-5060. And the person you need to talk to is Danny Jones. Danny Jones, if you would like to participate in youth activities.
Thank you.
To engage with the youth, is it possible to bring more entertainment sites to Dublin, such as carnivals or other entertainment such as movies?
First I would probably say when you're speaking of carnivals, are you talking about annual festivals and fairs and things of that nature? Or could you clarify that?
I'm really not sure the students had the question.
I mean, I think, when it comes to carnivals, there are civic organizations that sponsor events such as that. You've got the annual fall fair that comes that the Civitan Club sponsors. I'm not sure how often those things need to be here, but that would be probably the avenue for some of that to expand. But when it comes to something like Rigby's, and I have some younger children, I've never been, but my understanding is that's basically an entertainment facility that has games, jumping areas, and things of that nature. The way I would categorize that is that needs to be a private investment, and in order for a private individual to do something like that, they have to feel that there's a need and there's an opportunity for that to succeed. So as Councilman Johnson had alluded earlier, when things like that are possible, we need to be sure we have participation. Otherwise, that investors certainly is going out on a limb if we decide not to participate.
I'd also like to speak on that. Councilman Johnson mentioned a little bit earlier about the city that we were partnering with, the Rec Authority and county, and we are doing a swimming pool complex. Actually, it's a water park out at Southern Pines, and we will have a swimming pool, it'll be a water slide, and a lazy river. So it'll be an opportunity for the youth to have something to do, especially during the summer months. And as Councilman Brown stated, once we have this facility ready, it's slated to open April of next year, we would encourage you to attend and patronize the facility, and of course give us your feedback. Let us know, because last year our youth council, they had a seat at the table to give us ideas about the water park. What some of the things that they felt would be good there, because originally our idea was just to do a swimming pool, and but this will be a lot more entertaining. It'll cater to the youth, and we hope that you will patronize that facility.
As teenagers, we like to hang out. Is it possible for the city of Dublin to provide funds to develop and maintain safe and entertainment hangout location for teenagers?
I say, is it possible? Yes. But it goes back to what Councilman Johnson said. When you say safe, we can have police security there all day. And I know, and my argument has been, I've been in Dublin a long time, grew up in Dublin, and I know that a lot of the fights, when they don't come from the citizens of Dublin, they come from out of town, people from out of town. But when your friends come from out of town or wherever they come from, you got to know, tell them how to act. We don't allow that in Dublin. We're not gonna have that. So I'm thinking, yes, we possibly could, but we need to know exactly what are you talking about. Be more specific when you're talking about a place to hang out. What are you talking about?
Last question. Are there any future plans to bring varieties of fast food restaurants such as Buffalo Wild Wings, Cookout, and etc. to Dublin?
Yeah. If I could address that, that's very popular with everyone, as I could see, and that's not something that we have direct control on. We've tried a lot of times to get different restaurants to come, but what it depends on the population. If you don't have a certain population in your city, certain franchise restaurants, nationally franchise restaurants, they would not relocate there. So what we have to do, we've got to come up with ways to grow our population so we can talk with these different retailers and restaurant franchises and try to convince them to come here. And people are migrating to the county. They are migrating out of state. But we hope that we could provide some career jobs so whenever you go away to college and you graduate, that you would be able to come back to Dublin and live in Dublin to help us grow our population, and that would put us in a category to get those restaurants such as Buffalo Wild Wings, Cookout, and some of the other nationally known restaurants. So that's the problem that we are facing now. We are just under 17,000 population in the city. The county is just under 50,000. So we have to grow our city and county population to put us in position to get some of those restaurants here.
I'd like to add to Councilman Davis's comments. We'll say that the city and also some private individuals have contracted with a company called Retail 360, which what they do is they go out and they seek investors or franchises such as potentially Buffalo Wild Wings and others that are looking for a place such as Dublin and Lawrence County. We'll say that, as Councilman Davis had alluded, a lot of it has to do with population. Dublin, as he said, has a population of around 17,000, county around 50. But in putting together this plan with Retail 360, hopefully they're able to sell the aspect that Dublin is much larger than just our actual population. We have a lot of folks that travel in here, whether it be to go to the hospital, to go to the physician's office, go to the VA, and also for just regular retail. So the kicker is going to be convincing those franchises that our population is greater than 50,000. It's really more like about 250,000 when you talk about folks that are in and out of here on a daily and weekly basis. So I hear you that we want other avenues, but as Councilman Davis said, that's not in our direct control, but we are participating in that effort.
How does the Dublin Police Department determine which neighborhoods need to have frequent police patrols?
I think
What was the question again?
The question is directed to the Chief of Police.
Thank you for that question. We determine what neighborhoods need frequent patrols based on the stats of the crime. And how we back that up and can prove that the officers are there, they have to call in these hot zones. On top of that, we have to patrol the whole city. However, we are able to move around certain personnel in these areas to kind of push the bad guy out of that area.
Thank you. What can citizens do in response to the lack of a sense of urgency when it comes to crimes in these areas?
We have a strong neighborhood watch program that we actually partner with our neighborhoods in several ways. One in particular is called Crime Text, that the public in neighborhoods are able to call or text information in about an individual without the fear of being called a snitch. And we have to really look at that, because that's not important when the shoe is on your foot, when you need the police to figure out who stole, who shot a family member. When it's the opposite, you hear all of those things. But we have ways to partner with our neighborhoods through those entities to bring those crime rates down.
And my last question, are there going to be additional police stations put in the city of Dublin?
And that answer is yes. We have the Bike Precinct, which is in Stubbs Park. We have a active precinct right now at the Dublin Mall, and we're looking at the interstate area to put a precinct there to show a police presence in that area alone. And then we'll use our police department located on Jefferson Street as the main headquarters to continue our partnership on that side of town.
Tax season is here, and Jackson's Income Tax Service is open and ready to serve you. We've started processing tax returns now, so don't delay. Come in today and get your taxes done and out of the way. Yes, you can come in with your last check stub for an estimate or get your return completely processed with your year-end W-2s and other tax documents. The season is here, and we look forward to doing business with you. We can be reached year-round at 610 North Church Street, right here in downtown Dublin. Open from 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. Call us at 272-8681. Jackson's Income Tax Service, established in 1987, providing quality customer service and maintaining an ethical and professional tax practice.
Come to Jackson's Income Tax Service, where experience makes the difference.
Hi, I'm Anna Grace with Myers Equipment and Supply, your dealer for the complete line of Can-Am side-by-sides and ATV products. For hunting, farming, or riding the trails, Can-Am has the models you need. If you want all-out performance, choose the Can-Am Maverick line of side-by-sides. With models up to 172 horsepower, 20 inches of ground clearance, 24 inches of suspension travel, power steering, and four-wheel drive, there is nowhere you can't go. And nowhere you can't go quickly. Coming soon, the Maverick Trail, with features like its larger sibling. The Maverick Trail will go places you never thought possible. Come into Myers Equipment today and see the full line of Can-Am ATVs and side-by-sides. Can-Am, the ride says it all.
The county schools have a Boys and Girls Club sponsorship. Can the City of Dublin help with sponsoring, providing the building and funds a YMCA community organization?
I think the mayor has been talking with some people concerning the Boys and Girls Club in the City of Dublin. Right now we are in the talking phase of it, trying to find a location and programs that can be offered to the people in the City of Dublin. So right now I would say that we are in the stage of talking, trying to see if we can find a location for a Boys and Girls Club. and students that will participate in funding of the Boys and Girls Club.
Just to add to what Councilman Johnson said, a gentleman named Cliff Cruz, who is works with the Bank of Dudley, is a leader in the Boys and Girls Club, not only in the local level but on the state level. And he's had a passion for 10 years to try to put a Boys and Girls Club in Dublin, Georgia. We've had conversations along with Mr. Johnson and others within the last 6 months about it, and I hope those continue even into the first quarter of this year. To answer your question, I think the entire, I don't want to speak for the entire city council, but I will say from my standpoint, I would love to see a Boys and Girls Club centered toward teens, and not only have just basketball, but also have maybe a recording studio and some IT stuff that you could go in and learn and participate in. So that's being worked on. I hope we'll get something soon.
Is there any way citizens can see sanitation improvements in the city?
Again, yes. But what I need to know is if whoever is interested in this question, as many of you are, just get in touch with me. Tell me what you'd like to see. We want to provide top-notch, best service in the state for what you pay. And you just get with me, give me a call, come sit down in my office, and my door's open. Tell me what you'd like to see, and if it's possible, we'll surely do it.
And I would like to add to what our city manager Jones stated. Sanitation, cleanliness in our city is a two-way street. Now, we have to take some ownership, especially with the litter around our city. Whenever we have industry prospects coming in, they typically like to take a tour around the city. And so we would like your help to help us make a concerted effort to help us clean up our city. As citizens, taxpayers, you deserve the sanitation services, but it's going to take all of us to make us have a beautiful city, and we invite your help with that.
Let me see. I just wanted to add to that. One thing we're doing is starting an Adopt a Street program. So if you're interested in that, you just volunteer, keep a section of the street clean. We just had our first volunteer to adopt a street. They're adopting Academy Avenue. And so that's a place that you can get involved. I tell you one thing, when I was outside city government, I thought about it as I thought up ideas and I would tell them and say, why don't y'all do that? But from being inside city government, the things I see work are things that citizens get behind, just like a Boys and Girls Club. If you want a Boys and Girls Club, get your parents, get a committee, get it going and start pushing for it. Because if you tell me, hey, let's get a Boys and Girls Club, I say, that's a great idea. And then I'm on to something else. And but if you really want to see something change, if you want the city to look better, get out, adopt a street, get your group together, adopt it, y'all take turns, and you really make a difference that way.
Thank you.
These questions are directed to the City Council. Can we implement community leader discussions to bring awareness and tolerance to social situations?
Yes, this is kind of what, this is a start of this, what we're doing here today. That's why we came out today. We did something like this, similar with the adults at the Old Coney Gym in December. and got a lot of things worked out and ideas that we're working on now, bringing forth to the community. But this is kind of the start of that. That's why we gave you the questions to ask a chance to ask any question you want to ask. That's why you see all the representatives you have here, from the council, the mayor, to the police chief, to the city manager and assistant city manager, to address the issues. So this was an opportunity for that. But if you like to see more of this, yes, we could possibly do that. You talk with your principal and let them know, and we can see if we can schedule this more, and you can be more in depth. But the reason why we're doing it here, because we know if we do it in the community, maybe 5 or 6 of y'all will show up. But we got your attention here to address these issues. So this was the time to address this, and we would love. That's why we're here today.
It's not just you that needs to be aware. The people you see sitting up here at the table need to be aware also, and we need to have more of an awareness ourselves of the social issues. This past Saturday, the Dublin City Council unanimously spent the entire day in a workshop from 7:30 that morning till 4:30 that afternoon or thereabouts, working, talking, trying to get a better understanding of where we're coming from, each of us individually and as a group. So for us to be able to help our community, we first got to help ourselves.
Have any of you thought about hosting a Meet Your City Officials Day, which will allow for a personal one-on-one discussion with the young citizens of our city, just to educate us on city government and get to know us?
Yes, one of the things that I'm thinking about doing in April, during Georgia Cities Week, which is a time that we highlight our city government, is having a shadow day, and that's allowing high school students to come to the city of Dublin. I hadn't got permission from my city manager yet, but to shadow our department heads, and that could be the police chief, the fire chief, sanitation director, public works, and even the administration, clerical, each department, we will have a student that would shadow that department head that day and see how city government operates, how we work, just what everything entails in operating the city, because you would be really amazed at really the amount of work it takes to make the city of Dublin run the way that it does. And we want our youth to know that and to realize that and to be a part of it. That's one of the reasons why we do have our youth council, to teach them about city government. They have the opportunity to attend Mayor's Day and National League of Cities and meet other city officials across the nation, and have an opportunity to interact with them. So of course, yes, we want to do that at the city of Dublin. Look for some information I'll be sharing with the school probably in March to set up that shadow day, and we'll make sure that we have our city council available so that they can meet you and you can talk with them one-on-one.
Thank you. The following question is addressed to the police chief. Does the city police department offer any sensitivity training for their officers regularly to ease tension between themselves and the community neighborhoods they patrol?
That answer is yes. We are a state accredited police department, which means that our requirements are above what is required from a average level. We actually train twice a year on sensitivity, and that is managed by day-to-day operations, backed up by the body cam program, that we're able to look at the body cam and see how that officer interact with that individual. We are strong when it comes down to customer service and treating everybody on the same encounter. In other words, we treat everybody the same.
Thank you. I have seen on the news where community leaders have empowerment programs for guns for toys.
Portions of this program are brought to you in part by Dale Nifong, your State Farm insurance agent, located just off Hillcrest at 103 Darsa Drive in Dublin. Call for a quote today.
Hi, I'm Helen Powell. I'm the owner and operator of Careers in Cosmetology.
Since I've been enrolled in Careers in Cosmetology, I've learned a lot, and I look forward to a bright future in cosmetology thanks to Helen Powell.
Hello, my name is Shelley Steff. I have been a stay-home mom for 18 years. Coming to school here has been a wonderful blessing. I feel very privileged to come to school. I feel very privileged to know Miss Helen. Anyone that has not been to school, I encourage them to come on. Coming into school has been made a great difference in my life, in my family's life. I really enjoy it.
If you want an exciting, profitable career, come see us.
To get guns off the streets, it is possible for city police departments to have similar programs.
I've looked into this type of program. The problem that you have with that, once these guns are taken off the street, law says that you cannot destroy that gun. You have to turn around and sell that gun and put it right back on the street. And so to me, it doesn't make any sense. We have too many guns on our street, on the black market. That's why we really push the initiative to keep all your valuables out of your car, because we have them stolen. People are leaving them in cars unlocked. And we see and also recover a lot of guns that had been stolen from crimes and incidents like that. So I'm open to new ideas on how to partner with a program like that without putting that gun back on the street. But the law says you cannot destroy it.
This question is addressed to the entire City Council and Police Department. How can we work together as students and elected officials within the City of Dublin to improve racial issues?
I think my main thing is open conversation, and we have to be honest with ourselves about it, because it's not just prejudice it's prejudice on both sides, on every side. So we have to be honest and not be afraid to have those conversations, and just be honest and realize, leave your pride and all that at the door, and just say, hey, we're gonna sit down, let's talk about it, and let's become a better community. I found out that a lot of it, we don't like each other because we don't know each other. I sat down and had a conversation with someone that I really wasn't too fond about, and come to find out we had a lot in common. And really, I was like, well, that's not a bad guy at the end of the day. So really conversation, and let's sit down and let's talk, and not be afraid to talk and address and talk to someone that look different or act different from the way we do.
I would like to address that. I recently had the opportunity to attend the National League of Cities, and one of the topics that they talked about had the acronyms REAL, Race, Equity, and Leadership. And that's one of the things that I really want our city leaders to recognize. It's like, even when you open the paper, when you look at a picture and you see a group, seeing that diversity. Seeing diversity in each and every group, and putting a little intention in what you do, and ensuring that everything is diverse, that everyone has a seat at the table, that everyone has an opportunity to start the race at the same level. Because a lot of times we have, hurdles in front of us that other people are not faced with. And we have to, get our community, our leaders to recognize that and to understand that, and to do things, to make it where everyone can start at, the race at the same line, and that we can all finish together. One of the things I remember from that conversation was, opening the door and giving everyone an opportunity to enter it. Now, what you do once you get through that door is going to be up to you. But, that's one of the things that we'll definitely be looking at this year, is just, putting some intention in what we do and ensuring that we have diversity across the board.
Amen to both.
Thank you.
We are nearing the end of our program, and I would now like to extend the opportunity to you guys to use closing remarks.
I would again like to apologize for my tardiness, but appreciate having the opportunity to be involved in this venue. We certainly appreciate your questions, your concerns. I believe we all subscribe to the open door policy, so don't hesitate to contact us. And again, thank you for your interest in our city.
I just want to close by saying thank you to Dublin High School for hosting this event in this nice auditorium. And then I also want to thank the Youth Council for coming up with the idea of doing this. I'm real proud of this group behind us. We see them everywhere. We see them in the community working, volunteering. We see them putting, as the Rotary motto says, service above self. I've seen that in this group of young folks back here, and I encourage all of you to get involved. Try to get involved, but I think the plan is, Mr. Jones, and we talked about it a little bit, we're going to try to make this a larger group maybe. So just get involved when you get a chance, and thank y'all for having us. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to be here and to be able to address you. I want you to know that we do believe that our youth do have a voice. That's why we invest in our youth with our youth council, our teen court, our internships. The city of Dublin recognizes that one day you will be sitting here at the table. And it's our job to assist with preparing you to do that. So thank you again for having us, and I hope that you have learned something today. We've definitely learned some things, and just hearing the issues that you are concerned with. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to us, and I would say your voice is heard through your youth council. They have our ear. That's why they're here. So talk to your youth council. Let them know how you feel about these topics and other topics and explanations, so they can come to us council members and let us know and explain y'all feeling and how you feel. So utilize your youth council. Get involved with your youth council. Use them. Talk with them. Let them know what you want to see and what have you, so they can come back and let us know, so we can get more involved and listen to you. This is what we want to do. You are involved and you are the future. We want to see you come back and live in Dublin.
Not a lot to add. I just want to say how sharp the basketball team looks in the green coats and the bow ties. Y'all looking good. So thank y'all for having us, and go Irish.
I want to say thank you to Dr. Williams and Dr. Jordan and his staff for hosting us today. It's been a great day, and I want to thank all of the students that attended the recruitment program today, and all of those that got registered and accepted to college today. I salute y'all. And I want to thank the Youth Council for coming up with the idea of having this youth forum, and we hope that you'll take away a lot of positive from the discussions that we've had today. And remember, let's embrace diversity. When we all work together, Dublin and Lawrence County could be the very best it could be. Thank you.
I want to say thank you. I'm humbled to be a part of this panel. And I just want to leave something with you. If you want to see the change, you have to be the change. And I want you to really take that and put it in your heart, because it's easy to ask somebody, what are they doing? Be the change you want to see, because there's greatness on the inside of you. Thank you so much.
Due to a previous commitment, Councilman Johnson had to leave.
Thank you all for participating in today's forum, and it is the hope of the Dublin City Youth Council to continue to bridge the gap between our adult leaders and the city's youth. We appreciate our mayor and council, along with our chief of police, Chapman, for attending and supporting our efforts. You have shown us today that we do have a voice in our community, and we would like to say thank you. May each of you have a safe weekend and continue to make a positive difference in the world around you. I also encourage you to like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Dublin City Youth Council. I would also like to extend a welcome to you all to attend our next Youth Council meeting on January the 20th at 6 p.m. at the Dublin City Hall. Thank you guys again. Have a great day.
This was such a great event. Just hearing the questions that the students posed and just knowing that these are coming from the minds and the hearts of our youth. And it was really interesting to hear the answers and the responses from the council members for the city of Dublin. And I myself personally was very blessed because there were a lot of questions that even I myself have posed and thought of, and of course coming from the minds of the teens has been wonderful. And we're so thankful and proud of the work that the Dublin Youth Council are doing. We're thankful to the city council members, Mayor Phil Best, Tim Chapman was in the building, City Manager Lance Jones, Assistant City Manager Tiffany Stanley, Councilman Bill Brown, and you also had Jerry Davis and Gary Jones here with us, and Benny Jones. They were wonderful, excuse me, Gary Johnson. They were wonderful with their responses, speaking from the heart, speaking from the things that are really taking place within our community. A lot of great things are already transpiring, and of course, as you've heard, it really starts with us too. If we want to see the change, we ourselves have to be the change. I'm proud to be a citizen of Dublin Lawrence County, and we're glad that you are one as well. That's all the time we have for Real Talk here on TV 35.